Hello, okay, so this is going to be a very quick run through of some of the features that LXFreeJava can do. If you're a PC user, you need the LXFreeJava because it runs on a little background layer software called Java, which is in a lot of things, so you've probably got it on your computer already. If you're a Mac user, you can just download LXFree. I think I've still got the tab open. So LXFree for PC users, LXFreeJava for PC users, LXFree for Mac users. So just go to the page. I will post a link when I upload this video as well. Okay, so just skipping from here. Oh, there we are. Dooby-doo. Okay, so what can it do? So when you first start, you're just going to get a blank page like this. So what you want, first thing you want to do, let's just have a look at what these features along here do. So you've got your selection, which sets by default. You've got lantern selection. You can draw shapes, so we can draw a box very quickly. Circles. I don't know why we want a circle. Maybe like to say audience down there. I don't know. Over here, you've actually got a lighting bar tool, so you can actually drop in a lighting bar. It can be a bit fiddly to get straight lines on this thing, especially with me. Let's just put 3 lighting bars in there. Okay, and you've got lines as well, so you could just as easily draw a line. Say we wanted a setting line down here. So, that's not straight. So why have we got that selected? So whatever I've got selected, I can then edit some of the options. So over here, if I click this, it's telling me I've got a basic line, but for setting line, we usually use dots or lines like that. Okay, you can also change the width. You can make it thicker. So for instance, I might want my lighting bars to be a bit thicker, say 2 points. There we go. Now I better make that a bit straighter and that a bit over there. Okay, so you can draw your grid. Now I do have a version of G2 that I made somewhere on my computer. I just need to find it. I will upload that as well. You're more than welcome to use that. So let's get to the nitty-gritty of it. So what we want is lights. So you've got a huge selection. It comes with a lot of these American lights, like baby silhouette and TV lights and Par 64. But you do like Mickey, Moore Richardson. I don't even know. I assume these are all American companies, so we don't tend to use a lot of that, and it can be quite daunting trying to hunt through this to find the light you want. Simple solution to that, you have an option button here, and from here you can load whichever key. So whichever, you can break this down into manufacturers rather than all of it, which is their default is all of it. So we tend to use ETC, Strand, and what else do we use on here? Silicon. So if I select Silicon, click OK, it will only load those lights. So our finals are Silicons. It might not have our particular model, but I don't personally feel that's particularly. So a claim for now, there we go, we all know that one. So now I've got my lantern selected. What I need to do is get it onto here. So once you've got your lantern selected, you only need to select your lantern tool and you'll get this cross. And every time I select that, because that's still selected there, it's just going to keep adding them. But again, every time you click somewhere, it goes back to that arrow by default, so you have to keep selecting your lantern light. Let's find another light. So let's load. Let's go for, well, ETC. We use a lot of ETC. So, oh look, par cans. We all know them. Narrow, source 4 par. Very narrow. Wide. Well, I use wide. So let's put in some par cans. I'll keep this nice and simple. I don't want to be here all day. Right, okay. So while you've got your lantern selected, you can position it. You can rotate it here using this tool over here. I could have selected them all and done them like that. Okay. I'll do the same with these. Let's see if I can select all. Let's see. Oh yeah, so hold down Shift and you can select more than one object. Let's see if I can rotate them all. Look at that. Which will save me a bit of time. Okay, so now we've got some lanterns on here. Let's see some of the things that we can do to those lanterns that will help us later on. So I'm going to zoom in a bit so that I can see what I'm doing. So you can see it's got all these numbers on it now. So what it's saying is that's the first unit of this type, and it's saying I've got up to 4 units. I've got up to 3 with the park ends. That's useless information to me. So if I select a light, I can uncheck that and it will disappear. What I am interested in is its color, its channel, and its use. So I'm going to say 119. Oh, it's blue. Okay, so it's added leaf. It's automatically found that color. Well, this is a new feature, by the way. I didn't have it before. And I'm going to put it into channel 1. Now you're going to have to just improvise with your channels. Just do it logically. Me personally, when I'm doing submasters, I always do my backlight. As you know, I do my backlight, my top light, my side light, my front light, and then I'll do my booms and things like that, so that I know that the first few faders are backlight and I can just find them quickly. So click that to put my channel on, and again its use. This is simple. Backwash. Well, it's stage right, isn't it? Stage right. Blue. Okay, now I can display that on there by checking that if I want to, but I don't think that would, you'd end up with a very crowded lighting plan if you did that. Why do we put all this information on the plan? We put it on there for the person rigging it to know what they're putting in it and what the colors they need to source and what channel it needs to go into. You need it as a designer to know where things are. So the use, I'm going to show you why I'm doing that in a mo, but we don't need to display that, but we need that bit of information, and you'll understand in a moment. Okay, so that's my channel 1. I'm going to click this one over here and check that little thing. This will be my channel 2. This will make sense in a moment. And the color, sorry, 119, and it's automatically added the color that I wanted before, and I want the channel to be displayed. And the use, obviously, backwash stage left blue. So as a designer, I know what that channel's going to be doing now. So I know that these are a pair of backlights, and I'll put them together so that they're quicker to bring up together. So let's do these ones. That would be my... Let's put colour in there. Let's go for red. 106. Primary red. Yes, of course it is. I want to display that. I want to put in my channel, which is going to be drumroll 3. Okay, and obviously this one over here is a pair as well. Okay, use again. So just for speed, I'm just going to go back red. You know what I mean now. So a bit more detail, backwash stage right, that kind of stuff. Back red, but just for speed. I'm not going to check it. And this one as well. It's going to ask me again. Yes. And the channel, which would be 4. Okay, so nice and simple. Use again. Back red. Okay, so we've now got 4 lights with bits of information. I won't do these ones, but you'll get the idea. So you know how to add your channels, add your colours, add your use and description. So the other thing that this can do, this software, is it can create you a report of your channel lists, and that's very useful because there is a way. There is a way of exporting that channel list into an Excel document, and then which you can then tidy up, and you've got all your information for all your channels to hand when you're plotting lights. So if you go to, I think it's format, yes it is. No, it's not. Where are I? Oh yeah, there we go. So go to view and then go to reports, create report. So over here you can, oh yeah, I've not tried that one before. So you can do a channel summary. So that's quite a nice bit of information there. So it tells me the channel, tells me what it's doing, and it tells me the colors. That's a very simple one. But instead, if we go view, reports, create report, let's try another one. Load from library. Let's just do channel export or channel list. Okay, so now it's got the lantern type, it's got room for position and stuff like that, but I haven't marked that in. It's got room for the patch address, but again that's irrelevant because that happens in the install. It's got the color, it's got the use. You can have lights grouped as well, so we could have created a group in our information. So it creates all this, and there is a way of exporting that, but I'll have to research that because I've forgotten how, so we'll do that later. So that's why it's very useful to put all that information on there, because you're literally creating that and saving you having to do it again by hand. Right, so let's go back to our plan. I just want to show you one more thing. So you've got this lovely lighting bar here, you've built this beautiful grid, and then suddenly you go to click your light, but you accidentally click your line and you go, oh god, I've moved it. So it's a real pain. You can actually select objects and group them. So for instance, I could select my, holding down shift, remember, to select more than one thing. Or you can just literally do that, and that should select my bars. And you can go to format, group. I'll sort that in a second, don't worry, don't panic. Format, group, and you can also lock. I'm not going to do that because I need to move it. Arrange, send positions to back. Oh no, I've miffed. I see my lights are hiding there, so I need to move to back like that. Okay, so now you'll notice that the whole thing is moving. So that can also be a pain because you can still grab it and move that. So you can also, once you've got it selected, you can also lock it. So nothing now. I can select it, but I can't move it. So that's a very handy tip for once you've built your grid to keep everything neat and tidy. When you're done with your plan, also you can export in various forms. All right, which I'm sure is quite straightforward for you guys. What else was going to show you? Oh yeah, so not only can you move your bars around, your lights around, you can also move the information around if you like to. So you can actually put the channel number inside the light and things like that. You don't want to end, if you've got like a lighting bar that's really, quite crowded, you're going to want to be able to move information so it's easy to read. You might go up there, you might put that 3 in there, that kind of thing. Why it's displaying those numbers again, because when you do those mass edits or move forward and stuff, for some reason it rechecks that annoying thing there. So just bear that in mind. So you can do that and have a nice, neat, tidy plan. It's up to you. And again, did I show you can move them? Yes, you can. You can position that more realistically as a backlight would. So you know exactly. Oops, other way. There you go. So yeah, there's lots you can do. It's a free piece of software. Now, one point to mention, this is handy to demonstrate that. As part of the qualification, you have to visualize. You have to have some form of visualization. So you're going to have to also do diagrams and things like that. But you can also, you might want to draw your set onto the plan so that you know where the set is and how it's lighting. But for visualization, you can quite simply do drawings and notes of angles and things like that, like a little diagram. So for instance, if this was a profile and it was doing a long corridor down here, I would, as a designer, I would always draw that for the rigger, so that they know, if I don't go on tour with the show, they know how to focus it, and that's called focus notes. So you can create focus notes for those lights, only for those lights that are really have a specific focus point. Usually on focus notes, you just go, stage right, back, blue, stage right, black, red, general wash. You give a focuser a note like that, and they know what it's doing. They know it's lighting the whole stage. But if it's something, say like this one was just for a little area here, or for this area here, you might have to do a diagram to show how it's focused. Because the idea of a lighting designer is you get the show up and running, but once you're done, that show lives on beyond you, and you need to create the paperwork for that show to tour. So that's what you're doing. That's how you need to think. How can someone reproduce what I've done? And if you keep that in mind, you'll sail through this. Okay, right, I think I've said enough. Hopefully this is enough to get you going. I will have a look at exporting the reports. There is a way, I've just forgotten. I'll have to go onto the website and work out how to do it again. Okay, so I'm going to close this now. We're going to go weird. Speak soon.